I explained to the Japanese after Fukushima, right? We do have laser technology that will melt dirt at 1800 degrees. But I said, well, I could use an HHO generator, right? Mix all the dirt from Fukushima, yes, approximately a couple feet down, and I can melt it up, and then I could get all the radioactive isotopes for myself. Yes. Now it's not that difficult to slurry dirt. Pooh, heat it up to 2 to 3,000 degrees. Yes, and just scrape off all of where Fukushima was so that we can rebuild there. Now, as much as you might think, I did document that I'd like to get rid of all the nuclear waste and atomic waste throughout the world. And a lot of these innovations are going to be very important to society. Yes. And I think that once we could start rebuilding there at Fukushima, because I haven't heard any news reports of it, they're having a difficult time with those in the atomic energy industry. Yes, saying, well, it's still contaminated. But how far down in the ground do you have to go to be able to remove all the contaminants? Or you could set up on site a way to get rid of all the radiation. Now it actually works. Oh. You know, when Hu Jintao was president of China, there was a Mr. Yoda, former president of Japan or prime minister of Japan. Yes. Mm. You know, there is a way that you could start building if you really did think about exactly how to do this. It does take a little electricity, but I'm able to provide that. And melting dirt, or is it slurring dirt and removing the radioactive material from it? Yes. Um, I know that it is possible to remove all the contaminants from that place. Yes. Now, exactly how did you plan on paying for the reconstruction of a contaminated? Well, I think that that should be talked about. Now, well, I did want to get rid of all that radioactive waste. I mean, it's kind of stupid storing it in salt mines. In fact, you know, as an individual that like to produce large amounts of desalinated salt, there's multiple uses for that. I know we have a big ocean out there and everybody thinks they own it, but when I thought about desalinated 2 trillion gallons of fresh water every year, not like the Japanese couldn't use a little more fresh water. Pooch. But what if I used Japan? Fresh water. Now, this patenting, yes. Mind if I look through? It seemed like some technologists had to know every innovation of every individual and said it was theirs and their corporate property. Now, let's say I had a large amount of salt and I used it. Some of this high temperature salt. What happens when you boil salt at approximately 2,500 degrees and then you allow for it to cool? Yes, it makes a type of material that's very impenetrable. Yes. And if I put a large amount of radiation in it so that nothing could get through it, yes. What did you think you were going to store all your contaminated radioactive material from the Fukushima? What if I redesign the whole containment of radioactive material as a byproduct of me manufacturing salt because of the fresh water you want to purchase? Now, because of where Japan's at, you don't get that much sun, though I've heard it's hot there, but it's not hot there all year round. Yes. I'm going to make you a deal. I'll do 4 cents a gallon, yes, during the summer and 5 cents a gallon during the winter. Yeah. And I get all the salt, but then I melt it up myself and I make new containments, yes, for all radioactive material. So you could get to work on replacing that city that had all that contamination. Now, how's that sound for Japan? What does that sound for Japan? What do you say we get rid of all the nuclear and atomic waste and get to working on fixing some of these other problems? And you're over there wheeling and dealing about how I know Japan. Would it be interesting to have foreign nations investing in business to rebuild Japan? Now, If you do it the way that I think, yes, let's say you're at the G20, you're sitting around talking about all the deals that you're going to do, and Abe mentions, well, how'd you like to invest in Japan and the contaminated part of it? I'm sure a lot of Russians like that. Russians like that. I'm sure there are a lot of world leaders. Oh, we have billions of dollars for you. You can have everything.